Good afternoon, friends. It is 1:50 on this Wednesday afternoon. We have two separate tornado warnings for portions of the Baton Rouge Metro and then portions of the Florida parishes as well. So we're going to jump right into it. We don't have an official tornado watch just yet, but that is coming within the next couple of minutes for the entire area. So storms are popping up quickly out ahead of a squall line, and this storm system has been notorious for causing tornadoes off to our west over the last couple of hours. The one particular storm that we're concerned about as of right now is this one storm to the northeast of Marydale. So this tornado warning's in effect for portions of East Baton Rouge Parish and East Feliciana until 2:30. This storm is moving to the north at 30 miles per hour, and we'll actually zoom in just so you can see. Let me turn that off so it's not super confusing for you guys, but you see this circular little cylinder that you see right on your screen. It's highlighted yellow. That's indicating that it does have a good bit of rotation. So I'm going to zoom in and show you the most concerning area right now. The core of the storm is currently located west of Central, and it is crossing Hooper Road as we speak. And again, this is moving to the north at 30 miles per hour. And where you see on your screen, notice you're seeing the reds and then the greens real tight knit together. That indicates that we have a good bit of rotation. And keep in mind, the radar site is in Slidell, so the radar beam's going and it's detecting some spin in the atmosphere about 5,000 feet above the surface. So this is rotating pretty well as it crosses Hooper Road. So if this is a part of where you live and this is a part of your viewing area, you do need to seek shelter immediately. This is to the northwest of Denham Springs, but again, this one particular warning's in effect until 2:30. We also have a separate tornado warning in effect. This is just east of the downtown area of St. Francisville. This does include Jackson. I'm not seeing as much of a spin with this one particular storm. And I do want to point out here, check out this. You see the 4.5, the VTI, that number we watch, that is one of our exclusive products. And the closer you are to 10, the greater the chance for a tornado to form. And so right now we're at 4.5, so that's what we're going to have to watch for. If that number starts to climb, then that is more concerning. So again, we have two separate tornado warnings for the Baton Rouge Metro, one in the Florida parishes and one including the Baton Rouge Metro. So if you live within this one red polygon, again, this is for portions of West and East Feliciana as of right now, and I'll zoom in just to show you where I'm talking about. This does not include St. Francisville, at least not the heart of St. Francisville. This includes Jackson, Wilson, Norwood. This does not include Southwest Mississippi as of right now, but I would be prepared to get into your safe place. Watch this very carefully if you live in Southwest Mississippi. This also includes Kearney, could be passing over LA Highway 10 within the next, I would say, maybe 20 minutes or so. And again, this one is in effect until 2:30. This is for West and East Feliciana Parish. Could be dealing with a little bit of hail as well. Now, the most concerning portion of this storm right now looks to be getting a little close to US Highway 61, and that would be south of Freeland and near Cole as well. And I'm going to put on one of our other products just to show how much spin we actually have. We're not seeing much in the way of rotation with that one particular cell, but the most concerning cell as of right now is right near Central. As of right now, crossing near Hooper Road. Let me zoom in a little more, and you see this one part. I'm going to draw it for you just so you know where I'm talking about. Right here, you see the greens and the reds. That's the most concerning part of the storm. So we do have a good bit of spin going on. This could spawn a tornado quickly. So you do need to get into that safe place. Stay there until we give you the all clear. So again, the most concerning portion of this storm right now near Hooper and Jor Road. This is just near Central, and it is moving to the north around 30 miles per hour. So it could be knocking on your doorstep within, I would say, if you live closer, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see where I'm talking about. If you live in Clinton, it could go right past your area within the next 20, maybe 30 minutes or so. Again, this goes until 2 o'clock. I'm also seeing one little concerning kink in the radar. We have two separate storms we may have to watch for. You see this one particular storm that I mentioned near Central, near Hooper Road, and then Jor Road as well. But I'm also watching this particular storm that is just west of 16 as of right now. Now, the National Weather Service did go ahead and issue the tornado watch. That is until 10 o'clock. However, for the Baton Rouge Metro, I do not see it lasting until 10 o'clock. Most likely about 7 o'clock or so, but until we give you guys the all clear, I want you guys to take this seriously. We've already had confirmed tornadoes. I'm going to correct myself. The tornado watch is until 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. But again, I stand with what I said. The watch will likely not be until 9 o'clock for our area. But again, our main concern right now, this one tornado warning, portions of northeastern Baton Rouge Parish and then East Feliciana parishes as well. So two separate areas we have to watch within this one particular polygon. Again, the most concerning portion of the storm moving north of Central now and just west of Greenwell Springs Road. So Milldale, if you are listening right now, you need to get into your safe place. Pride, Milldale again, Blairstown. If I'm going to name out some areas that are within the polygon. So if you hear me, we're also likely going to be simulcasting on the radio. We're on Fox 44, NBC Local 33, and we are on brproud.com. So if you hear your neighborhood or your town called out, be sure to get into that safe place. Pride, Oaknolia, Blairstown, Riley, Reimer Crossing as well. And then Clinton, you need to be in your safe place. You might get clipped by these storms, but you're still within the polygon. These storms are not to be taken lightly. The same system has caused confirmed tornadoes, violent tornadoes in portions of eastern Texas near the state line, and then near Lake Charles as well. Denham Springs, you are not included in this warning as of right now, but the thing that we're most concerned with, notice how we're seeing these individual storms. This is what we were concerned about yesterday and the day before that and going into today. These storms were going to pop up out ahead of the main squall line, which is still to the west of our area, stretching from about Cameron Parish all the way through Crowley, just west of Lafayette and Opelousas, Ville Platte, already seeing the brunt of it. And then, so first it's likely going to impact Point Capee Parish, and then eventually starting to impact Iberville Parish over the next couple of hours as well. So this will be moving from west to east, and you can see we're already dealing with a bunch of alerts. So that includes severe thunderstorm warnings, and right now we are breaking into programming for these two separate tornado warnings. And we're also talking to the National Weather Service in New Orleans just to see if any other storms are of concern as of right now. I am going to put on the velocity product once again just so we can see if any of these storms have started to weaken a little bit. I'm not really seeing any sign of it really starting to loosen up a good bit, but at least on the velocity product, it is moving to the north and northeast, I would say. The most concerning part of the storm right now, where we're likely seeing the greatest rotation, likely moving near Hidden Creek, near Greenwell Springs Road, Liberty Road as well, and then just to the east of Deerford. So I'm going to zoom in and show you guys again. Here's Liberty Road right here, if you can follow my cursor there, and here's Greenwell Springs Road. And this is not a confirmed tornado as of right now. Again, that's why we are in contact with the National Weather Service, Emergency Management, and then storm spotters as well to see what we are actually dealing with, if there is a wall cloud or if we actually have confirmation of a touchdown. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any confirmation. This is radar indicated. Let me go back to the other storm that is now starting to move toward Jackson. This one's also, I would say, moving more to the northeast instead of just due north. You can see I put the loop on it for you just so you could see what we're dealing with. So these storms are moving quickly. In fact, this one storm starting to move a little more to the east of the polygon. That could even clip St. Helena parishes, and so we'll have to watch the progression of both of these storms. The National Weather Service is saying they are going to continue this tornado warning that you see right here. I'm going to take the laps off. They are going to continue this tornado warning until 2:30 for EBR Parish, and then also for East Feliciana Parish. Greensburg and St. Helena Parish, this does not include you as of right now. It doesn't include Clinton. It also includes, I'll zoom in just so you can see, Blairstown, this Baywood. I would at least be in your safe place. You're not in the polygon right now, but if it continues to move on the track that it's moving on, again, maybe east-northeast almost in a sense, I would be ready just to get into that safe place, at least listen to us and then be near that safe place. So just in case, if we give you that call, that you'll be safe and sound. Not a good time to be driving. If you are planning on leaving work or leaving school to go pick the kids up or anything like that, you do have to be on the lookout for some of these storms, these individual storms, and you see how quickly they're popping up. These storms will have the best potential to spawn tornadoes. That's what I do want to stress. So this is round one. Round two still off to our west. And keep in mind, this is the second round. That's going to be the squall line that moves in over the next couple of hours. So we're saying between now and about 7 o'clock, we need to have our safety tips and our safety plan ready to be put into action. So here we go. One storm that is not essentially included in the polygon right now, I mentioned it before saying it had some spin. It also has an elevated VTI. So this is one of our exclusive products with our Live Viper radar. The closer you are to 10, the greater the chance for a tornado. It puts a lot of components into play, and then it computes this number to say the most likelihood of seeing a tornado. So VTI is at 4.1. The National Weather Service is saying tornado warning coming out for the cell near Whitehall and Livingston Parish. So that's likely going to be, let me find it, get the bearings right. So this is likely going to be the one coming as well. We still have 2 separate tornado warnings that we are keeping a close eye out on as of right now. And this one near Jackson has some broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything too tight as of right now. It may have been spinning a little faster than before, but as of right now, I'm not seeing anything significant. But Jackson, Wilson, Norwood, even Gurley, I want you guys to be ready to get into that safe place if you're not there already. So Jackson, Gurley, Wilson, Norwood, and if it holds together, could move into southwest Mississippi near Whitaker within the next, I would say, 30 minutes or so. So right now, the most concerning portion of the storm moving near Jackson, also near Highway 10. Again, here's Highway 10 right here. Here's Jackson. Dawson Road, if you live near there, Reed Drive, Miller Road, Highway 952. You also need to be in your safe place. Here's Wilson and Spears Lane, Norwood, Highway 19. Now is not the time to be on the road. Alice, you are in the tornado warning, but not concerned about your area right now because the storm is moving north-northeast around 33 miles per hour. So it should stay to the east of you. But again, given the fact that we could see these kind of drift off a little bit, that is why you are still within that tornado warning. Here is that new tornado warning I was telling you guys about just a couple of minutes ago. This is for Livingston and Tangipahoa parishes. This is until 2:45, and you can kind of see how it is getting that supercellular structure. So we have winds almost wrapping around in a sense, and then so that is why we're starting to see this possibly spawn a tornado. Could be crossing closer toward Albany near the I-12 and I-55 corridors. Perhaps, I'll put a time on here for you. So it's moving roughly 33 miles per hour. It could be in Albany within the next 25 to 30 minutes. Springfield, about 20 minutes. Killian, 10 minutes. So you need to make sure you're in your safe place. Livingston, this does not include you. The city of Livingston right now does not include you as of right now, but it does include Tickfaw, the I-12, I-55 corridors. So let me take this off and I can actually do a little bit of a radar tour for you. Springfield as well, likely seeing the most, I would say, the most intense portion of the storm. It's a little bit hard to see. I do want to stress that again, being that we are pretty far from the radar site. This radar beam is going about 3,000 feet above the surface, so into the atmosphere. So it is picking up on some mid-level, low-level rotation, but as of right now, it's kind of hard to see. But Highway 22, LA Highway 444 near Horse Bluff Landing, Tiger Bluff Landing, Wall Settlement, you need to be in your safe place. Bayou Barbary, pardon me if I am not saying these towns correctly, but you get the idea. Killian, Springfield, Wall Settlement, Springville, Hungarian Settlement, Bonaire Estates, Robinwood, Albany, Woodhaven, Baptist, Tickfaw, Woodhaven, Holden, you are also in this tornado warning right now. Now we're starting to see some visible rotation on the velocity. You see how we're starting to see the greens and reds coming together? That tells us that there is some pretty evident rotation. Again, this is not confirmed. This is radar indicated as of right now. And keep in mind, that is until 2:45. That the other two tornado warnings that we're following, again, remember, we're keeping an eye on this number, the VTI. It's still about 4.1, so it's still elevated. The closer we get to 10, that's when it's almost a sure bet that you'll see a tornado. But this is moderate, so that means that we could have a tornado spawn shortly. It's not confirmed, but it is certainly a possibility. And so this one, we're actually watching two separate areas of this storm, and I'll show you guys on the reflectivity just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So you see how we have a kink in the radar here. We also kind of have a kink in the radar here, and then this one storm that's south of that may have to watch it. This is why we were stressing we'll have some storms before the main squall line. So this is not the main event. These are the storms that could spawn tornadoes before the line. The line could spawn a couple of tornadoes as well, but these individual storms do pose a greater tornado risk. So let me show you guys what we are dealing with. The new tornado watch, I'll have to update this graphic. This new tornado watch is until, is it 9 or 10 o'clock, Matt? Do we know? 10 o'clock? Okay, so then I'm going to correct myself again. It is until 10 o'clock. This includes the entire Baton Rouge metro. So what a tornado watch and a tornado warning mean? I always have a lot of people asking, what is the difference between a watch and a warning? So I will show you guys a graphic if you're more of a visual learner like I am. Tornado watch does not mean a tornado is on the ground. That's when we would have a tornado warning, meaning that a tornado is either radar indicated or it has been observed. That's what a tornado warning is. Tornado watch, you essentially need to be watching the weather, watching what's going on. Warning means take immediate action. You still have time to plan when there's a tornado watch issued. The tornado warning is when you need to already be putting your severe weather safety plan in place, whether you're at work, you're at school, you're at home, you're in the car, and you need to closely monitor radar conditions regardless, because things will rapidly change. Now, what you need to do if a tornado warning has been issued for your area, even if a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for your area, because damaging straight line winds can be just as destructive, if not more destructive, than a weak tornado. And given the fact that we do have very, very delicate trees right now. After Ida, we have a lot of debris out there. We have a lot of the trailers still that folks are living in, the blue tarps. It's not going to take much. So what you need to do is put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get into that interior room of your home and make sure there are no windows. Make sure your doors are closed as well. You see how it's highlighting there. A bathroom. Get into the bathtub, a closet, just make sure there are no windows. If you don't have an interior room in your house, make sure you can get away from any exterior walls, and then get away from windows if possible, and get a mattress, get something to cover your head. A helmet would be good. Tennis shoes as well. Make sure they are closed-toe shoes in case you have to get out of rubble or anything like that. That is very, very important. So we are under an enhanced risk for severe weather today. The tornado threat has increased pretty substantially over the last couple of hours. And I do want to point out, you see this hatched area. This means that there could be the chance for strong tornadoes, EF2s or greater. So there's a 10% chance for tornadoes within any given, or within 25 miles of a given point. So yes, the threat is rather low. It is still more elevated than what we're used to on any given day, or even on severe weather days. So you need to take this threat seriously. Again, we're under a level 3 out of 5 threat for severe weather today, including the risk for damaging straight line winds and a couple of tornadoes. And that is why we are on the air right now. We have a couple of tornado warnings to talk about. The one we can start with, going to approach I-12 within the next 25 minutes or so. And I will put a tracker on this. If it's moving roughly 33 miles per hour, we'll go that way to the northeast. It could be in Albany within the next 20 minutes. And so I-12, as we know, very populated route. Very populated interstate, and so this could be crossing the interstate 15 minutes or so. So if you are listening on the radar or on the radio and you are driving between Livingston and Hammond, or even on I-55 and going toward Independence, Tickfaw, you need to get to a gas station, a brick and mortar shop, or anything like that, especially a gas station you can get into one of the freezers. That will be safer than being in your car. We've already seen reports and videos of confirmed tornadoes near the state line. Tornado through a truck up in the air like it was a toy car. So that just goes to show mobile homes, cars are not safe to be in when there's a tornado. Don't go looking for it. Don't try and get a picture, a video. Yes, you guys are our eyes and ears out there, but your safety is first. And especially given this environment, we have a violent environment for these storms to develop and develop quickly. Ponchatoula, you are not included in this just yet, but that could certainly change. Here's a look. It could be in Albany 28 minutes, putting on the latest track. Springfield in about 20 minutes. We are watching the Weather Service chat, so keep that in mind. Again, we have multiple tornado warnings just yet. Not seeing any confirmation with the tornado warning near Killian. We are depending on some of the emergency managers and the storm spotters to see if we actually have something on the ground. Right now, the most concerning area right now that I'm looking at with the velocity product, likely near the edge of that polygon. That would be just to the west of Weiss. So Weiss, even though you're not essentially in that tornado warning, I still want you to be in your safe place west of Baywood, Bluff Creek. You are also outside the polygon, but this could even get closer toward your area. Reimer Crossing as well. Let me show you on one of the other products that we have. Let me clear this out for you. We have the shear rate. This essentially tells us the rotation detector. Right now it is relatively weak, at least as of this radar scan. Again, this is still roughly about 5,000 feet above the surface. That is where the radar is picking up on some rotation, so it could be much stronger near the surface. So that does make it a little difficult when it comes to severe weather here in the Baton Rouge Metro, given the fact that we are between radar sites. But the radar is going to be moving to Hammond within the next year or two, I believe, and so that will make this significantly easier. Now, the National Weather Service is going ahead and continuing the tornado warning for EBR and East Feliciana parishes for another 15 minutes or so. They're also issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning for Point Capee and West Feliciana. So you see how that kind of updated there. They trimmed that polygon. So Clinton, you are no longer under the gun for this one particular storm as of right now. But keep in mind, some of these storms developing near Zachary and near Slaughter could start to intensify and move into your area. So I still want you to be ready to get into that safe place. Greensburg, you're not dealing with any severe storms just yet, but that could certainly change. So as you see right now, and I'm going to call out areas that are included in this updated tornado warning. McKnight Crossing, Blairstown, Hatchersville, Gilead, closer to, let's see, Gilead Road and near Highway 10. You are on the northern portion of this tornado warning. Highway 959. There are two areas that I'm watching that may be spinning just a little bit. So near Greenwell Springs Road, just west of Baywood, that's one particular area that we're watching. There's also this one area that we're watching that is near Blairstown, near Highway 959. Let's go up to the other warning. Again, we have several warnings, and I do expect more warnings to come. That's why we're stressing you need to take this seriously, even if it is not raining outside. These storms are popping up, and this is, I wouldn't say the main event, but the main squall line is still to the west of our area, and that's going to impact our commuting significantly. So a heads up there, plan accordingly. This one particular area, again, Jackson, we're going to give you the all clear for now. You are no longer in the immediate threat for this one storm. The one storm that is moving to just near the state line, I have to zoom out just to get my bearings right, is right along the parish line of West and East Feliciana. As of right now, this is just to the west of Wilson. Norwood, you need to be in that safe place. I'm also seeing, I'm going to switch to a different warning right now. This one storm just to the northwest of Killian and near Springfield is the most concerning right now. This is our debris detector, and we are starting to see some lowering of these colors, of the debris, of the correlation coefficient. And when that happens, that means something is lofted into the atmosphere that is not supposed to be there. So that could mean debris. Sometimes birds are picked up on this as well. But now that we are starting to see some cooler colors, that is a little concerning. So we are watching that. It could just be some clutter right now, but just watching for that. I'm not seeing anything too concerning on that, but that is the most concerning storm at the moment. In fact, let's see, do we have, Matt, we have Matt Willoughby behind the scenes right now. Do we have a traffic camera between around Albany and Hammond. There may be one on I-55 and near I-12. That way we can see what's going on right now before the most concerning portion of the storm moves over these areas. So right now, the most concerning portion of the storm, the part that we're watching for some rotation, just near Horse Bluff Landing, could be near Neal Landing, Wall Road, Wall Settlement. If I'm calling out your town, your community, make sure you're in that safe place. Whether you are on the road, get to a brick and mortar store or a gas station or anything that is safer than your car. If you're at work, if you're at school right now, something to keep in mind, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Even if it is not raining for your area, you are still under this tornado warning. In fact, can we take the traffic cam? This is I-12 at I-55 right now, and you can see visibility is lowering significantly. And the reason why is because the heavy rain is starting to move into this area. So I'll zoom out just so you can see where I-12 and I-55 are right now. So here's I-55, here's I-12. So that is basically very close to the I-55 and I-12 corridor. So this isn't even the most concerning portion of the storm. Likely still dealing with a good bit of gusty wind, but the one area, again, that we're most concerned with right now, still to the south. Could be in Albany, and that's north of I-12 within the next 20 minutes. So that means you have about 15, maybe 20 minutes until this one particular cell, if it's moving to the north-northeast at 22 miles per hour, to get closer to I-12. So the National Weather Service is going to continue this tornado warning for Livingston and Tangipahoa parishes until 2:45. However, it is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is not a confirmed tornado just yet, if it will be, but I still need you guys to take this seriously. I'm going to take this one particular tracker off just so you can kind of see what we're dealing with right now. So again, we have that tornado warning for Livingston and Tangipahoa parishes until 2:45. If you are joining us on WVLA NBC Local 33 or Fox 44, and we are breaking into programming right now to give you the latest on this severe weather threat. As long as there are active tornado warnings, we will be on the air bringing you the latest, because keep in mind it may not be raining at your house, but these people could be in danger. So that is why we are on the air, and keep in mind this is just essentially round one. So again, we're going to be with you guys every step of the way and making sure you are staying ahead of the storms and to keep you safe, because keep in mind, given this setup, it's been a nasty day across portions of Texas and Louisiana. You may see some videos floating around on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram of really significant weather, wind damage in Lake Charles, tornado, most likely tornado damage off in Lake Charles and portions of Texas as well. So again, we'll go back to a radar tour just to show you guys. Wall Settlement, you need to be in your safe place if you're not already. Hungarian Settlement, Springfield, Highway 22, and then that eventually runs into LA 42, and then Highway 43. Do not be on the roads right now. Don't go looking for a tornado if there is one. That's why we have storm spotters, and that's why we have emergency management as well. They are the ones that are going to communicate with us. Don't try and be a hero by any means. Pumpkin Center, Hungarian Settlement, just south of I-12, even Robinwood, you are within this tornado warning. Tillman Park, Baptist, Albany, where LA 43 meets Florida Boulevard. You need to be in your safe place as well. If you are listening on the radio, we partner with iHeartRadio of Baton Rouge, you're likely hearing these alerts as well. Portions of I-55 also under this tornado warning. Keep in mind this also includes Tangipahoa Parish. So South Built. As of now, Hammond, more so the northwestern side of Hammond, you are also under the gun for the potential for a tornado. Independence, this does not include you as of right now, but that could certainly change. Woodhaven, Janice, again, bear with me if I'm saying your town wrong. Tickfaw, Natalbany, South Morrison Boulevard, Lincoln Park, let's see, Springfield, again, I'm going to name these several times, Pumpkin Center as well. That is one particular storm. Keep in mind we have several. The National Weather Service did go ahead and expire that one particular tornado warning for West and East Feliciana. Also, let's see, they are also going to expire this tornado warning. That's for East Baton Rouge Parish and then East Feliciana parishes. So as of right now, I will give you guys the all clear. I'll zoom in, just Blairstown, Reimers Crossing, McKnight Crossing, Hatchersville, even Coleman Town, you're not included in this warning, but keep in mind these storms do cycle and they could quickly spawn a tornado. So that is why we have that tornado watch in effect until 9 o'clock. But again, the most concerning storm right now that we're watching is going across I-50 or I-12 within the next maybe 15 minutes or so. So again, this is not a confirmed tornado. This is radar indicated, but again, we don't have confirmation, but it may be hard to see, especially if some of these areas are a little less populated. But as you get closer to I-12, obviously it gets more populated and densely populated. Hungarian settlement, if you are not in your safe place, as of right now, you need to be. Baptist as well. Albany, West Robinwood, you do need to be in your safe place too. Independence, you are not included in this tornado warning right now, but that could certainly change. West of Hammond, Tickfaw. I do want to show you guys what we could be dealing with for the rest of the afternoon, evening. If you're making plans to go get the kids or you're going to leave work and thinking about leaving work early, I would suggest it maybe, if anything, within the next hour. I know we have some active tornado warnings, and I've been telling you guys if you are driving, pull over if you are in this warning, but just before things get a little on the messy side. I'm going to switch radar sites to the Lake Charles radar site just to show you what we're dealing with off to the west. Let me zoom out. And I will put a lapse on this just so you can see over the span of the last 2 hours, very wicked squall line moving from west to east. And it is moving into Lafayette, soon going to move into New Iberia. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Point Capee Parish and West Feliciana parishes. And I do expect this to likely expand into Iberville Parish and then eventually into EBR Parish and West Baton Rouge Parish. This is until 3:15. The most concerning threat with this one particular squall line, damaging winds, damaging straight line winds, which could be dangerous. Again, I said before, straight line winds can be just as destructive, if not more destructive, than a weak tornado. So you might get an alert on your phone saying severe thunderstorm warning. You need to take it seriously as if you were under a tornado warning as well. Because again, it may not take much to see trees come down, especially the ones that were battered by Ida. So that is why we're saying take this seriously. And for the rest of the day, keep in mind, our main concern will continue to be damaging winds, but tornadoes, possibly some strong tornadoes, will be possible. Keep in mind, we have that one tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. That includes the entire area. I do not expect it to continue until 10 o'clock for the Baton Rouge Metro, but we may come close to that, maybe about 7 o'clock or so. Let me run through the FUTURETRACK just so you can see the possible timing. I do want to stress that it is a little slow. Keep in mind, we are currently seeing the squall line about right here, so it may be about an hour slower than what's actually happening. Here's 4 o'clock. Notice it's still a little to our west. That's in the next hour and a half. So if you're traveling to and from Lafayette, please take it easy. I would maybe hold off if you were about to leave Lafayette. I would hold off at least maybe for another hour or so, because keep in mind these squall lines can move in and out quickly. Here's 5 and about 6 o'clock, likely going to already be in Baton Rouge. I would say 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock or so, and then approaching I-55 shortly thereafter. 7 o'clock, it should be east of I-55 by then. That's when we're expecting the severe weather threat to end, but the cold front will not even be to our area just yet. I'll actually show you another computer model just to kind of illustrate that for you. I also think this one's a bit on the slow side, a couple of hours on the slow side, if you will. So this particular model run has the squall line moving in 5, 6 o'clock. I'm thinking more 4, 5 o'clock for Baton Rouge, but you see how the cold front's still well to the west by 7 o'clock, and then the cold front should pass through maybe 7, 8, 9 o'clock or so, and as you go to bed. And we could have a couple of showers along that front, but it's going to be that main squall line. Now, tomorrow we turn sharply cooler. Winds are really going to pick up out of the west. I'm talking frequent gusts over 30 miles per hour. So if you have not secured your holiday decor outside just yet and your trash cans, I advise you to do that now, because even with thunderstorms this afternoon, we're still going to have windy conditions Thursday and Friday, and we'll likely have a good bit of cloud cover in place on Thursday, and that's going to make it feel significantly cooler. So here's a look at the satellite and radar loop over the last couple of hours. Numerous tornado warnings in Texas, Louisiana, and then confirmed tornadoes off to our west. So again, our severe weather threat, we're under a level 3 risk, again, now until about 7 o'clock. That's when we're expecting the worst of the weather. Obviously, it's going to move from west to east. So if you live in Iberville Parish, your threat's going to end earlier than that. But I do want to go back to the radar just to show you guys what we're dealing with, the latest on this tornado warning. So again, if you are joining us and you're not under this tornado warning, the only area included in the tornado warning as of right now is Livingston and Tangipahoa Parish, but this is a very, very busy area, very well-populated area. And we actually, Matt, can you change this? Oh, okay. Can you zoom in on the I-12 at I-55? That's the camera we really want to watch. Albany, this is going to be in your area very, very shortly. I will give Springfield the all clear right now, because the most dangerous part of the storm now north of Springfield. But if you live in Tickfaw, Kintally, Baptist, Pumpkin Center even, I still want you to be in your safe place. Also, again, Independence, you are not included in this tornado warning, but that could certainly change, especially if it gets extended to the northeast. I am in contact with the National Weather Service. I'm trying to read some of their information that they're posting to the chat room. As of right now, we still don't have a confirmation whether or not this is a confirmed tornado. If we don't have a tornado, it could be imminent. That's why we have the tornado warning in effect until 2:45. And let's see, no update from the National Weather Service just yet, but the most concerning area of the storm right now, again, this is our product, it's the rotation detector. And I do want to stress that, again, we are still pretty far from the radar site, even closer to Hammond. The radar is in Slidell, so these radar beams are shooting up to about 2,700 feet above the surface. So if there's more rotation closer to the surface, it's kind of hard to see. So this is still pretty elevated. So let's see. Albany in about 3 minutes, the most concerning portion of the storm right now. This is showing where we have some rotation, and our rotation detector is picking up on weak rotation. At least this is showing that, but it has produced a good bit of rotation over the span of the last hour or so, especially when it was just north of LA Highway 444. I'm going to put the reflectivity back on. This is an ominous looking storm. It looks as though it's trying to really get its act together, especially just south of Albany. I will give Pumpkin Center the all clear, Springfield the all clear as well. The most concerning portion of this storm, again, nearing Albany, likely already maybe have crossed I-12. And keep in mind, radar, this is about 2 to 3 minutes delayed. So that is why we're calling out these areas to say get into your safe place, and then we're able to zoom in and see what's going on. Baptist, Albany, along Florida Boulevard. If you are planning on leaving Hammond or going to and from Hammond and between Holden via I-12 and Florida Boulevard, hold off for about 30 minutes to an hour, because then the storm will be to the northeast by then, and we can give you the all clear. Until then, you need to stay in that safe place. Again, the core of the storm, you can see the most dangerous portion of the storm could be in Independence. Again, you are not included in this tornado warning, but that could certainly change, especially if the storm holds together or it recycles. Could be in Independence within the next 25 minutes. Tickfaw, about 20 minutes or less. Albany, it's right on top of you right now. As of right now, Springfield, I'm also keeping a very close eye on you still, just because there is some rotation still there. Okay, so the National Weather Service is saying the rotation in the Albany storm, this one particular cell we've been watching, has been pulsing up and down. So it tries to spin and then it weakens, tries to tighten up, it weakens. And so they are going to make sure that we watch it at least until 2:45. They're not going to expire it by any means, because it may need to get extended, especially if it continues to tighten up and kind of show more signs of some rotation and for it to be a dangerous storm. Let's actually take the traffic camera right now. We have some lowering of the clouds. This is I-12 at I-55. So this is looking to the west toward the one tornado warned storm. The most concerning portion of the storm, the area that is showing the most visible signs of rotation, now north of I-12, at least that's what our radar is picking up on. So likely start, at least this looks like it's toward the west. Kind of hard to get your bearings, but you can see some lowering of the clouds. I'm still not seeing any, still a little pixelated, but not seeing any visible signs of a touchdown. But again, that's what we're waiting from the National Weather Service to see what's going on. If we have at least some sort of confirmation whether or not it's on the ground. But keep in mind, again, this has been showing at least a good bit of signs of rotation within the last 30 minutes or so, and that's why this tornado warning is going to continue. Let's pull the Viper radar back up just so we can show folks what is going on. Again, Independence, you are not included in this tornado warning right now, but it could certainly change, and the National Weather Service could go ahead and extend that and include Independence and portions of I-55 moving into Tangipahoa Parish. As for Ponchatoula, we're going to give you the all clear right now, but I'm watching this one particular storm moving over Lake Maurepas right now. You can see how it's starting to get a little bit of a kidney bean shape, starting to try and rotate, get that supercellular form, but nothing as of right now. Could be seen, maybe if anything, a water spout, but again, it is on Lake Maurepas. We'll have to see if it holds together. But the reason why we are on air wall to wall right now is for this one particular storm moving over Albany. So right now, I'll show you guys what we're dealing with. Just north of Highway 444, you are all clear. You are not in this tornado warning, but there are more storms south of you. There are more storms developing south of Killian and southwest of Killian. So I do want you to at least pay attention, get ready to get back into that safe place if possible. And again, this one tornado warning over Albany will continue until 2:45. Tickfaw, you need to stay in your safe place until we give you the all clear. Woodhaven, the core of the storm moving over you right now. You can see how we just got that update from the radar. Baptist, stay in your safe place, likely dealing with some gusty rain right now. We've been talking about this since I've been on air with you guys. I point out this one number that you see, VTI, and I've been watching that number. When we first started talking about this tornado warning, it was at 4.1. Now it is up to 6.6, and the higher the number, the greater the likelihood that we could have a tornado. So once these numbers start to lower a good bit, that's when we'll feel a little better. The National Weather Service, they're saying that they will go ahead and cancel the Albany storm. It's not showing any it's not showing any significant signs of rotation, but it's likely, it could certainly cycle back up. Keep in mind, it is picking up on at least some winds in excess of 40 miles per hour that may be reaching the surface. But we still have about 5 minutes to go. I would still stay in your safe place just in case this tries to cycle back up. Again, that VTI number is still a little concerning since it has gone up. So we are going to keep a very close eye out on it. If it starts to lower, then obviously we'll feel better about it. But they are going to go ahead and they expired the tornado warning, so it's going to expire at 2:45. We don't have any other active tornado warnings right now, but I do want, other than that one, I do want to stress that the leading edge of the squall line, at least the northern portion of the squall line, now moving into Point Capee Parish, Morganza, Melville, Simmsport, you're getting rocked with some heavy rain, maybe some gusty wind. This severe thunderstorm warning includes New Roads, St. Francisville. This also includes Livonia, and this will likely get extended to the east as well. Krotz Springs, this is until 3:15, and so this is mainly for damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, but a tornado could quickly develop as well. That's what the severe thunderstorm warning means. Essentially, the most concerning thing with this storm, damaging winds, usually that's what we deal with when we deal with squall lines, but a couple of tornadoes could also pop up and quickly spin up within those squall lines. Again, we are watching all these storms out ahead of the squall line. Could be in the Baton Rouge Metro by about 4 o'clock or so, so make sure you plan accordingly. We have this tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock, and keep in mind, we are looking at the potential for damaging winds, very heavy rain, blinding rain, if you will, during commute hours, and the risk for some tornadoes, some of which could be on the strong side, should clear our area along and should be east of I-55 by 7 o'clock or so, and then our severe weather threat will end. I also want to stress that even outside of thunderstorms, here's Thursday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wind gusts, not so bad, but watch what happens as the day goes on. We start to get some mixing in the atmosphere, and that's when things start to get quite windy. These are wind gusts around 11 a.m., over 30 miles per hour, not sustained winds, but wind gust. Here's 2 o'clock, 20s and 30s. 4 o'clock, we have wind gusts over 30, possibly even stronger toward the afternoon, overnight hours, some possibly over 40 miles per hour. So if you are going to the fair tomorrow, you're going to want to grab a windbreaker, You're also going to want to dress warm because 60s and 50s will feel significantly cooler than that. If by any chance you do end up losing a signal on air, on NBC Local 33 or Fox 44, you can download our free Be Our Proud app and our free Be Our Proud weather app. There are two separate apps. You can follow all of us on social media, the Be Our Proud Facebook page. I'm extremely active on my Facebook page and Twitter. You can just search meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. And again, you can find the latest on beourproud.com. So now that we don't have any active tornado warnings for our area, that one tornado warning near I-55 has allowed to be expired. Keep in mind we're still watching for this line of storms. I'll actually put a track on it before we let you go and send it back to programming, just so you can see what particular timing we're looking at. So let me put a quick tracker on this and then push it to the east. We'll go roughly 36 miles per hour. Could start to move into Livonia. I'm thinking closer to about 20 to 30 minutes, but could be in the Baton Rouge metro by about 4 or 5 o'clock or so. So please plan accordingly. If you are going to be out and about, going to pick up the kids or anything like that, please be careful and pay attention to the weather and try and stay off the interstates, try and stay off the roads as much as possible. So what we're going to do, we're going to send it back to programming. If we have any more tornado warnings, we'll be sure to bring you the latest on air, online. Thank you for sticking with us and then having patience with us. Again, if there are any more tornado warnings, we'll break into programming. You can go to beourproud.com. You can download the free Be Our Proud app and then the free Be Our Proud weather app. Please be safe. Tornado watch is in effect until this evening. We'll see you soon.